What is up, and welcome to Real Advice in Relationships. I'm your host, Keisha, aka Author K.O. Sterling, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the podcast. As you're enjoying today's episodes, please rate this podcast, share this podcast, but most of all, download the podcast episodes. So sit back, turn up that dial, and enjoy this Southern girl share some real advice in relationships. Hey guys, what is up? This is your girl Keisha, aka Author K.O. Sterling, and I'm back today to do another podcast episode. I hope that this finds you well whenever you're listening to this, wherever you're listening to this. I hope that this finds you well. On today, we will be discussing Leveling Up Part 2. If you have not listened to the first installment of this episode, I will suggest that you go back and listen to it. If you want to, you can fast forward to start at 5 minutes or so, and then listen to it throughout the entire episode. It will kind of help give you some context of what we will be discussing on today. But the main elements that I wanted to talk about is on this episode is that leveling up requires a set of steps and a set of actions. And one of those actions is about really being honest with yourself. If you're not honest with anybody else, at least be honest with you, right? Being honest with yourself and being honest about the choices that you have made or the choices that you didn't make, and understanding that you want better for your life, right? Those things are a part of leveling up. And with leveling up, I feel that it does require a certain level of emotional intelligence. And not only is there a certain level of maturity that comes along with it, you also have to obtain an attitude that you will take whatever actions are necessary to get where it is that you're trying to go and trying to make those things happen, right? So it's good to know that when you are leveling up, you must understand the most important thing, and that is everyone cannot go with you. You can't bring everybody with you on your leveling up journey, right? And some people you will have to leave behind. And the reason for that is when you are leveling up, that mental shift, they may not have that mental shift that you have. Leveling up is an individual journey. So people who can't make that mental shift are not willing to share the idea of growing and going forward together. You may have to leave those relationships, those unprofitable relationships behind, right? Or not interact with them as much if that's a thing for you, right? And you also have to be leery of toxic friendships. Now, what I wanted to say about leaving some stuff behind, because a lot of times we always look at the outside elements or the outside contributing, the exterior contributing factors that hinder us. But honestly and truthfully, sometimes we are a part of our own hindrance. Just like you may have to leave some people behind. I can tell you that toxic emotions and toxic feelings such as unforgiveness, rage, resentment, and, anger, those things keep you from going to the next level and growing in your life. That, God can't give you his best when you carrying around your worst internally. So those are some things that you may have to leave behind as well in your leveling up journey. Now, I don't want this to come across like you have to be perfect, because we will never be perfect, okay? We will never be perfect. But along this journey, this leveling up journey, you have to be willing to make the necessary sacrifice. And when you make the sacrifices to get where it is that you're trying to go, you're going to make your work that much easier, right? It's going to be easier for you to get up and do it when you make those sacrifices, making the necessary changes. You're making room for growth. You're making room for blessings. You're making room for change in your life, right? And going toward that direction of trying to do better, it also helps with your confidence. It builds your confidence like tremendously, right? And there's nothing like walking into a room and the aura radiating off of you. They can't pinpoint it, but they can identify, right? There's something different about you. There's something different about how you carry yourself, right? We call it swag for guys or whatever, but and for women they call it, oh, she being a boss chick, or she's confident, she's operating her feminine energy. All of this have different labels on it, but it's really the same thing as far as growth and leveling up. Just different lingo, guys. Different lingo, same concept, right? So another thing that I wanted to make sure that I mention is that your road to leveling up may look very different from the people that's around you. They may look very different from even mine, right? Your road to leveling up will require that you cater your choices or needs based on what is good for you and your destination. Let me say that again because that was powerful. I want y'all, the people in the back, I want to say it so the people in the back can hear it. The choices and the decisions that you make need to be based on what is good for you and your destination that you're trying to reach. Okay? A quick word from our sponsors for today. Today's podcast is brought to you by I'm Enough Book by author K.L. Sterling, helping you on your leveling up journey. Back to the regular schedule programming. Your road to leveling up may look very different from mine. Your road to leveling up will require that you cater your choices and your needs based on what is good for you and your destination of where you're trying to go, what you're trying to accomplish, whatever you're trying to achieve, right? The actions that you take should never be discounted or discontinued because you're comparing your leveling up journey to the people on social media. Let me say that again. Never discount the baby steps that you're taking in your life to get where it is that you want to go by comparing yourself to someone through a cell phone screen, television screen, an iPad screen, or a tablet. Don't do that. Do y'all hear? I mean, if I say that over and over again, like just saying it off the tip of my tongue, it just sounds so unnatural. Don't do that to yourself. Please don't do that. Because you are real. Your struggle is real. And again, the baby steps that you're making are real and should be celebrated. And they should not be frowned upon because you are not an overnight success or you haven't achieved the goals that you would like in 2.5 seconds. We live in a microwave culture, right? Real life is not like that. Goals and achievements are not instantaneous, despite us living in this microwave culture. What is it that you want? Where are you trying to go? What are some areas in your life that you really want to see God manifest His blessings in? And when you figure that out, you base your request to God on those things. And do not base it on what someone else appeared to have. Okay? That's easy to do. That's easy to do. It's easy to look on the outside and see what they show you and like, oh, they have the perfect relationship, they have the perfect marriage, they have the kids, they have the money, they're human too. Okay. Everybody have their own set of things that they go through and their own set of struggles. And God loves you just the way you are. So you make your personal request based on your situation, based on your need, based on your desires. You make that request known to Him. All right? Not off of Ciara. Create your own prayer. So a quick recap for today. Before we close out, let's do a quick recap. We first going to be honest with ourselves. Okay? And then we're going to self-reflect. We're going to take some time and we're going to reflect what it is. We're going to reflect the right and the wrong choices that we made. We're going to also, in that reflection, we're going to become aware and more clear about where it is that we want to go, where we want to see our life go, and what direction, right? What type of life we want to have. Okay. Once you do that, once you can visualize it, write your vision and make it plain. Okay. Write your vision and make it plain. Make your request known to God. And when you go to God, be humble. That's the next thing. Be humble before Him. Because He can do mighty, mighty things out of humility. Okay? Not with somebody who think they are owed something. Right? But when you are humble, He will move on your behalf. Okay? And the next thing I want you guys to make sure that you highlight on this journey is to let go of toxic relationships, let go of toxic behaviors. All right. Even if that toxic behavior or that addictive behavior is holding a grudge, or if it's unforgiveness, or if it's resentment, or if it's rage, I want you to be able to let go of toxic relationships and toxic behaviors that you may be operating in, okay? Because it's hard to go to the next level and level up when you have that kind of weight that is on you, right? People don't serve as dead weight. Like, we can have weight from the inside, okay? All right? And the next thing I want you to do is to stop talking and stop flexing. Don't always, you make your request known to God, not necessarily man. Because I'm going to be honest with you, everybody ain't for you. Everybody don't want to see you win. Everybody don't want to see you level up. Because if you level up, they going to get left behind. They don't want to be left behind. So they may try to, sabotage you or be unsupportive or talk you out of what you're trying to do. So stop talking and stop flexing for the book, the gram, the Snapchats and the TikToks and the YouTube. You don't have to do all of that. All you have to do is to figure out what it is that you want to do. Make your request known humbly unto God. Start investing in yourself. Start work silently and consistently in the direction that you want to go, and you will see the results that you want to see. Okay? And that refinement that's going to be over your life, other people will be able to see it. Like I mentioned earlier, it's going to be a aura about you. It's going to be a level of confidence. It's going to be something different about you that radiates off of you. Silently, you don't even have to say a word. People be like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? It's something different about you. Like, what is it that you're doing? Like, I want to do that too. Okay. So just remember those things in your leveling up journey. Okay. So my real advice in relationships for today is to never covet what someone else have. Listen to me good. My real advice in relationship, never covet what someone else have. Because the creator of this universe has more than enough to supply each one of us with more than what we can even think that we can have, more than we can imagine, more than we can desire for ourselves and for our own life. if we trust him with it. And I ain't coming on here trying to be all preachy and stuff, but I'm just telling you, these are things that work. These are things that work. I bet you any amount of money that when Ciara was doing her leveling up journey, I bet you she had like a life coach. I bet you she had like a trainer. Like she's always been fit anyway, but I bet you she had like a spiritual counselor and probably a counselor, emotional counselor and stuff like that. You know, I'm sure she had different people in place to help her get where it is, pull those things, build those muscle, and detoxify her experiences that she had even prior to Future, because you got to feel some type of way about your own self to even pick a dude like Future. Like his whole situation was grimy before she even got into it. So she really had to have some little something going on her own self to even decide to take on the level of foolishness he had going on prior to her even rolling up on the scene. But that's just my opinion about it. But anyway, I hope that this podcast finds you well. Whenever you're listening to it, wherever you're listening to it, I hope that this finds you well. I hope that these things help you. And until we talk again, it is your girl Keisha signing off. Peace, y'all. Bye. Hey guys, be sure to go to my website, klsterling.wixsite.com/I'm enough. That's klsterling.wixsite.com/I'm enough. There you can find links to all of my social media platforms, shirts, books, and did I mention I offer free ebooks? Yes, when you go to my website, klsterling.wixsite.com/I'm enough, click on the ebooks link and it will take you directly to the free ebooks that I offer. I look forward to seeing you guys there. Bye.